Die. 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 He's not dying. Don't you follow orders? Oh crap, now he's coming at me. Alright. Welcome. Thanks for joining me for the second time today. For some of you, I just got finished with my first ever Twitch stream, so I hope you all were there for that and enjoyed listening to everything we had to discuss and watching us play a little bit of Atlas on my new server, my server cluster, my Atlas world, I don't know what to call it, the group of servers that make up the grid that make up the map for Atlas that is now a cluster, which is actually the world of Atlas. Yeah, that's what we're going to call it from now on. That whole long thing. That's it right there. So today I wanted to go over a couple of things that has been a little troublesome for me when we were trying to figure things out. Took a little time last night and I leveled up and I got some extra skill points and I put them all into different items on my skill tree just so that I could show you guys the different things that we need to unlock to get to different areas. So when you first go to your skill tree, the first couple things that you're going to unlock are obviously the first two up here, the basics and tools of the trade. Those are the first two things that you're going to want to unlock, because without those you really can't do anything else. So you start there, and the skill trees are actually pretty simple if you just follow along with the arrows. They actually did make it pretty simple, although it looks a little complicated at first. So depending on what you want to do with your character and what you're trying to do within your company, as the role within your company, whatever you want to do, that's going to dictate which route you take. Now, I would highly suggest everybody get the water keeper, because the water keeper is going to be essential for you to drink fresh water when you're out and about, because you cannot drink the water from the ocean. So if you're out sailing and you have no fresh water, you are going to die a lot. And it's annoying, so get some water keepers. That's the first thing to do in the beginning. From there, if you're a solo company, or if you are only a member of one or two, maybe three members of your company, you're going to want to designate somebody to be the construction and mercantilism person. And now they're going to go down this road, and I'll touch more on that here in just a second. You're going to want to designate somebody else to be the armor and weapon maker, just somebody along those lines that's going to make all the weapons and all the armor for you. So they're going to go down this hand-to-hand combat tree, along with possibly the archery, because obviously it's another weapon you want them to go down. Now the hand-to-hand combat, you're going to want to go down that road for each player individually somewhat. There's a little bit that you're going to need to learn so that you can actually do stuff, so you can actually fight against the creatures or other people in the game, depending on if you're PvP or PvE. So that's going to be another route to take. Cooking is going to be very important to sustaining the equilibrium in your food intake, because you have to have vegetables, you have to have fruits, you have to have meats, and you have to have fish, red meat and fish. You have to mix those up and keep all of that balanced throughout the game, or you will die of like vitamin deficiencies. It's crazy. It gets a little hard sometimes. I don't know how many times we've all died from that. If you choose that you want to be the guy that is taming all the creatures, bringing home horses, bringing home the wild pigs for everybody to ride, eventually an elephant, all of those things, or eventually even a dragon, you need to get this Beast Mastery, sorry. You need to get Beast Mastery and start to follow that tree. There's also a possibility of being a healer, so you can go down the medicine tree. all of that basically are little things that's going to lead you to all these other bits and pieces down this main first general tree. Survivalism is the general, is what I call it. So, okay, so what happens if you go down the construction? So at the top here, you see there's construction and mercantilism, there's beast mastery, there is hand-to-hand combat. That one is weaponry. I did not unlock all of those because it doesn't really lead anywhere. The archery and throwing weapons. What's next? Firearms, armory, medicine, artillery, seamanship, captaineering, cooking and farming, music and dance, piracy, which is going to be a fun one. And then this last one is completely, just ignore that for a little while. It's tarot, as in like tarot cards, tarot cards, tarot cards, whatever, however, whoever you are wants to pronounce it. But the first one we're going to look at here is the construction and mercantilism. It's basically going to be your basic construction, just as you would think it would be. So to get to anything of any value in here, you're going to want to start out with obviously the basics of building, and that's going to give you your thatch building materials. And then you do handyman, which gives you the repair hammer, storage box, and some other things there. Weaving, in order to make sails for your ships, you have to have a loom. Now the only way to get the loom is to have weaving unlocked. So you have to go down this route if you're going to make a ship. If you're going to be the shipbuilder, so you have to go down this route. Chemicals and tanning. So this is a tannery, mortar and pestle, and then all of the little things that you can make in the mortar and pestle are unlocked here. So the tannery is important to make other items in the game. You can only make certain things in a tannery. So again, it's important. Moving forward, repair bonus, that's just an added skill. Repair skill is, again, it adds a bonus. As you see here, it says repair minigame window region plus 15%. So it just helps you to repair things quicker. And this is a repair bonus of plus 20%, so it helps to make them better, I think. I haven't even messed with that yet, so I'm not entirely sure. What I wanted to show you is how to get to wood, which is secrets of building. So at first we had the basics, now we've got the secrets. Now we're to wood structures. Moving forward, if you want to move on to make a ship, now that you've learned how to make wooden structures, you can learn how to make a ship. So you have to go down here and unlock seamanship, which will then take you over to this tab of seamanship up here, which we'll get to in just a second. If you ever decide you want to make any kind of metal weapons, metal tools, anything like that, you have to unlock this metallurgy. So that metallurgy is going to be the next item on the list, which you can then unlock now the weapons and the shield and the stuff like that. So that's how this tree goes further and further down, adding more and more skill bonus, basically making you able to do things faster and better. So let's move on. Beast mastery, this is pretty simple. You're going to want to do taming, commands, and writing tier, because all three of those lead to this one down here, which is writing tier 2. So you basically can't tame anything higher level without learning those first. So it says right here you have to learn writing tier 1, commands, taming, and breeding. I apologize, you have to learn breeding too. I see that fourth arrow coming in right there. Moving forward, there's sneaking. All these first 5 are going to really help you to be able to tame anything. I did dabble in this a little bit, and I tamed a few monkeys and a few chickens. Tried to tame a horse. That was a pain, so I stopped and decided I'll waste my time with that later. So that's basically it on this skill tree. If you want to tame things, you go down this skill tree. It's pretty simple. Fighting, hand-to-hand combat. So this is this one is very important for everybody, because you have to be able to fight things. There's a lot of things in the game that are wanting to kill you, not to mention other players. So there is dexterity, which will give you block and counter attack time with fists plus 10%. And then shrug it off basically is reduced torpor, minus 20% torpor. So it really helps. And then you go down to breathing control, and then you have to go this route, power hit fist, and brass knuckles before you can get down to this one, which is improved breathing control, which will lead you down to advanced breathing control, and then you get all the way down here to the bottom. It says improved power hit feet, improved flurry of blows, and then the creme de la creme here is martial fitness. That means you're like the best of the best of the best, sir. So it gets you all the way down for the combat to help you out. Now there is another way here for you to get to weaponry. You could, as you saw earlier, you could get to that through. I believe it was through the construction. Yeah, you can get here through construction, but it also allows, if you're not wanting to be a builder, but you want to be the armor guy, so you don't have to go through the building to get to that. You can just spend your resources here. Oops, I passed it, and get to the weaponry that way. So that's kind of cool. So I did not unlock weaponry because I'm not that person in my company, so I didn't do that. So moving on, we're going to go to archery and throwing weapons. That's another thing that I think everybody should have, because the bow is important to be able to make that if you're the only one on, to be able to make arrows and whatnot. So that's the reason I unlocked it. Firearms I also didn't unlock. Armory I didn't unlock. Medicine. This one is pretty important to be able to heal each other if you're in battle fighting hydras and gorgons and whatnots. So that's pretty self-explanatory. As you go down that tree, should be pretty easy for people to get. Artillery, that's where you get your cannons and other things for your ship, the little small cannons and whatnot. Now the seamanship, this one is a pretty important one, obviously because it's Atlas and we're sailing and we're navigating the seas on some sort of a boat or seafaring vessel. And yeah, I'm just going to stop using big words. So speaking of big words, the sextant or navigator tools. The only way to basically navigate the seas using this is using the stars, and the only way to do that is to use a sextant. So you can unlock the sextant by doing this first skill right here. You can go down another step to be able navigator, and then you can do cosmology and improved cosmology. There's this improved navigator, and they all lead on and on and on and on. But the cool thing here is once you unlock the sextant, you can now move into captaineering. Captaineering is very important in this game. In order to have a crew, you have to have captaineering unlocked. Not in order to have a crew, but in order to be able to maintain a crew efficiently. Let's put it that way. So we'll get to that in just a second. First, I want to show you how to get your raft and your dinghy and your boat. And don't laugh because I said dinghy. So right here, you've unlocked basics of sailing, and you've got your dinghy. I hear you laughing. Okay, so then you move forward to get your ship right, and now you can start to get the sloop. So the sloop is going to be your first actual vessel that you can, without powering it, because of the oars, or without relying solely on the wind, you can steer the sloop around using a rudder. Imagine that, a ship with a rudder on it. And then over here you can unlock piracy. Again, we'll get to piracy in just a minute. That one's fun. Moving forward down the ship line, you can get to the different types of sails. You have a small speed sail, you have a weight sail, and then you have a handling sail, which makes you be able to turn faster. And there's different levels of the sails, which all do different things, and you definitely want to make sure that you keep up on that, so that you can, because the last thing you want is be out to sea and put a couple of barrels of water on your ship and go on shore to grab something, and then come back out to your ship and it's gone, sank, because those two barrels of water sank your ship because they are overweight. Yeah, learned that the hard way. So moving down, you can get into artillery using this skill tree as well. You have to go down the tree from the sloop, basically get the handling sail. Once you get all the sails unlocked, then you got to go over here and get to the schooner. And then you move forward, and from the schooner you get the, where is it? Medium. You get gun ports for your cannons. That's pretty awesome. You got a dinghy hanger on the back of your. I told you quit laughing about the word dinghy. Seriously. You got large wood gun ports. You've got the large handling sail. It seems like it's going to take forever to get down to it. But you then make your brigantine, your large shipyard, your large weight sails, your large speed sails. What is this one? This one is the improved Atlas map maker, or I'm sorry, able map maker. I can't read today. Expert shipwright, which is where you get your galleon and your large wood ship deck and all the things for the galleon. And then the final one here is the advanced map maker, which basically reduces your fog of war and shroud of war, which is pretty important. So, all right, that's how you make your boats. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it's going to take a lot. You got to level up pretty high to get to the galleon. So we talked about captaineering. Captaineering is very important, and it's because of this reason right here. The basics of the crew, the one on the far right here, ship resource box and food larder. Both of those are going to be what's going to help you with your crew. The crew basically, they'll eat your rations and they'll take your gold. You have to pay them in gold. So in order to do this, a lot of people online have been like, oh, what do I do? Just give it to them? No, you put it in the resource box and they'll come get it out as they see fit. Hopefully not mutiny against you and kill you. And within this, you can unlock the music and dance skill tree, which we're going to get to here in just a second. You can get to your ship maintenance. So if somebody blows a hole in the side of your ship, you can now repair it. You can actually ship destroying rate is reduced by 20% when you first unlock this. Then you can get a cheaper crew. You can get a more talented crew. You can learn rationing. You can educate your crew, and you want to do all these things to help, like I said before, run your crew more efficiently. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. And this is exactly why captaineering is important, but you don't want to spend a lot of resources, or I'm sorry, a lot of skill points on these other ones down below, because if you're going to be a captain, you need to have all this stuff unlocked. Cooking and farming. This is where you get your water jar and your water barrel. And then you can also get your cooking pot and then start to learn different recipes and whatnot to be able to put things together. You can also farm for crops and whatnot, and that music scared me, but okay. And then overeating tolerance. I told you I can't read today. So overeating tolerance. This is where if you just don't have anything else to eat and all you have is cooked meat, like we're all used to from Ark, you start eating a bunch of cooked meat, and this right here will help you not die. And you can get several levels of this, which is pretty cool. If you want to keep your meat, especially your fish, your cooked fish, you want to keep it for a long time, you must go down here to this preservatives. So you can get the preserving bags. And then preserving salts. You have to put preserving salts into preserving bags to be able to preserve things. And then more farming, more cooking, more farming, and that's pretty much it. There's a couple other little things on here. This is a grill that you can unlock so you can cook more meat faster, which is definitely good, but it seems like a long way to go just to get that. So maybe have a dedicated person to get there. So now the music and dance. This is actually just a cool little thing they've added in. I don't know. I haven't really messed around with it enough to see what it does. I have heard that there's a mini game with the accordion. I hope there might be one with the war drums as well. I don't know. I want to hit on that later. I do know that you can get music, the sheet music in Flotsam that's out at sea, the crates that are out at sea. So I don't want to touch on this too much because I want to do a video specifically encompassing the music and dance, because I think this would be a really cool addition that we've never seen anything like this in anything Wildcard has done. So I want to do this separately. So if you want to mess with this and you want to dabble in it, go right ahead. Maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you've done with the music and the dance so that we can figure all that out together. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the piracy. Piracy is where it is at. That's the name of the game. That is why we're all here. This is what drew our attention from all of the previews and made us spend the money and buy a game and wait for 2 weeks while they figured out all of the kinks, which they still haven't figured out all of them, but whatever, we're forgiving, just like we did for 3 years with Ark. Okay, I digress. Basics of piracy. It's going to give you the blackjack, which is basically a billy club. You can knock people out with it. Handcuffs. It gives you the hanging noose, so you can literally hang people. Grappling hook to be able to travel from one ship to the other. And then a flare gun. Obviously, that's how you let people know where you're at. Music and dance, again, can be unlocked through this route if you went here first. And then down here, secrets of piracy. You can get the giblet, which I'm not entirely sure what that is. The gibbet. I don't know. I haven't really messed with that too much yet. But wooden cage and diving attachment for your boat, so you can actually dive down and find sunken ships and sunken treasures and things. And that's going to be a lot of fun down the road as well. There's so much in this game that they've added in, that they've put at later stages in the game, that makes the end game sound like so much more fun. And I just can't wait to get to it. But we all have to suffer through the beginning stages, just like we did on Ark. It's just what it is. Knowledge of the old ones. This one intrigues me. This one says damage versus army of the damned. I'm not entirely sure what that means. So that's going to be something we're going to have to play around with. Shoveler. This is shovel resource collection plus 20%. So when you're digging up the treasures from the little maps that you get on the floating bottles, you can get plus 20% increase on all the stuff you pick up out of there, which is pretty cool. Plunder. Shipwrecked structure, returned resource quality plus 15%. So that seems like you're going to get more stuff out of it when you do actually find a shipwreck. Stout liver. Stout liver. There we go. Nailed it. Alcohol nutritional value plus 20%, and it gives you a grog. Come on. Who doesn't want to have a grog so they can just get drunk on the ship? We all did it in Sea of Thieves. Why not do it here? Diver, this is going to give you the ability to dive. Eagle Eye, it's buried treasure emitter visibility range plus 20%, which is kind of cool. So then there's all kinds of other stuff, just advanced versions of the ones before. Yada yada yada, all the way down. What's yours is mine. This says the player who activates this performs a feat of supreme piracy, allowing them to greatly accelerate the rate at which ship claim flags count down. That sounds dangerous. That sounds like I don't want anybody else to have that, because now they're just going to claim all my stuff, and one day I'm going to log on and I won't have a base or a boat or anything to call my own. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so there it is, guys. I know that was a lot to go over, and I went over it pretty fast. I didn't hit on all of the individual items over here that you can unlock, all the different engrams and structures and whatnot, because that would make this video even longer and it would just take forever. So I hope that was informational. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you learned a little bit of where you want to go with your skill tree if you're just starting out, because I know when I first started, looking at the skill tree was very intimidating. So this is why I did this. I wanted to help make it a little bit less daunting for everybody. So there you go. If you like the content, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell for notifications, because I am going to be putting out more videos on a somewhat regular basis, as much as I can. I'm going to try to do one every day. And then make sure you check out more live streams coming, like the one we did earlier tonight. And again, Happy New Year's 2019, everybody. Enjoy.